am so excited. This has been a big week. So first we had Father's Day, then we had my birthday, then we had Juneteenth. Now we have the summer solstice, but all I cared about all week, including not my birthday, was today and getting to talk to my dear friend, my sister that I always wanted, my friend that I only have met one week in my life, but I just adored her from the second I met her, and you will too. So today on Jewelry as Your Side Hustle with Sugar Gay Isbert, that's me. We're going to have Stephanie Daly, who is the owner, the creator, the cook, the love child of Send Your Friend Lasagna. Send Your Friend Lasagna. Welcome to the show, my friend
Thank
Stephanie.
you. Thank you.
Like seriously. And it's been a week and a half. I don't know. Like this week has just been like crammed everything in. But I just am so glad that we're gonna have an hour today to just kind of like talk about your business and reminisce about the blogs and I get to learn more about you, and then our friendship just gets that much better. And that's what's so much fun about hosting a podcast, is that you just learn about people, get to ask them everything.
Yeah.
So now you start us off by giving us your elevator pitch and all the stuff that we need to know. Start off.
Wes isn't here, right? So I can just say what.
No, you're not being graded. You're not going to be thrown off the stage. You're 100%. You got on the stage the first night, didn't you?
No.
No. Okay, I'm thinking of something else. Okay. I
No.
think Jen did. Okay. Anyway, that's our other friend. Okay, take it away, Stephanie. I didn't
I
mean to.
didn't get on the stage at all. Blah. I was so sad, but it was a great experience. So, and I got to meet amazing people like you. So it made it all worth it. But yes, I am Stephanie Daly. I am the owner of Send a Friend Lasagna in Indianapolis, Indiana. I created it from absolutely nothing. It was just an idea that I came up with after a friend of mine's wife died. And I quit my job. I started as a side hustle and I was working in digital media marketing. And I remember I told my husband one day, I was like, I have to do this. I have to do it. If I don't do it, I'm going to regret it for the rest of my life. And my very supportive, stable husband
Well,
said, okay, babe, you go for it. So yeah, I started Send a Friend Lasagna in 2019, November of 2019.
so it's been going on for a good 5 years now.
5 years. I can't even comprehend that. It's just amazing. It's crazy.
So
Yeah.
how do they love you in Indiana? Because if you lived here, we would like just shine on you all the time. Like, I can just smell the lasagna from here. I want that lasagna. But it has to do with, I never even thought, oh, what a great thing when like there's a baby that's just been born or somebody's home from the hospital and they got to feed their family still. And like what a gift that is to be able to share the love of something that you're making with love and
Mhm.
that you get to share it. Now,
Yeah.
and how big of a delivery area do you have around where your location is?
So in Indianapolis, we have an Indy metro area, which is a circle around the city. So we do that. And then we expanded 15 miles outside of Indianapolis. So it's a good delivery area. We hit a lot of what we call our donut counties there. So it's a good size area. I'm working on other things and failure is part of success, right?
Trial and error. That's all it is. It's just learning, right? Like
Yeah.
you've bootstrapped this whole industry that you've created on a single idea with now you have a commercial kitchen. Now
Yes.
you have employees that have to be responsible and respectful and fun to be with, and then you
Yes.
have delivery drivers. And then,
Yes.
so this whole like how people connect with you, it's like really big because it's a lot of people.
Mhm.
I don't know how many people are that, but here it would be a ton of people. And then everybody has a reason. Nobody doesn't like lasagna, but you really like if I was to go get like a box lasagna from wherever, that, it's not made with love, or maybe even not even like real meat, or maybe not even like real cheese, or all of the above. Like the ingredients aren't that wholesomeness that we would want in a good Italian mother making a lasagna. Are you Italian? No.
I'm not.
I love it though. You're like the Mamma Mia that I want to be. Yeah.
It's funny because my grandparents owned a restaurant. It was
Oh.
called, yeah, it was called Dunham's Prime Time, back in the late 70s, early 80s. And I walked around like I owned the damn place. I was 8 years old telling the cooks, hey, you need to whatever, you need to check on that bread and all that stuff.
Oh,
But
you're a bossy boots. That's all you are, just a boss.
I I like to, I'm a nice boss, but
Yeah.
my love of food came from that. My love of
Sure.
food came from that, standing in the kitchen on the step stool. And I know it sounds so like, I don't know, whatever, but just like standing on a step stool, watching my grandmother make, soups, or, watching my mom make her own sauce, and, knowing what that smells like and knowing what that tastes like. It can just food can transport you to a different place in
Yes.
your heart, in your
Yes.
mind. And
Yes.
those memories are very vivid and very clear for me. And I just, my dad was always one of those people who you always had to have a job. Gotta have a job, gotta have a job, be responsible, gotta have a job. And unfortunately, I lost him 15 years ago. But when if I told him I was doing this, like when he was alive and I told him, he'd be like, no, you need a job, you need health insurance
Oh,
benefits, you need this,
oh,
this, this, this. Huh?
oh. You're
Yeah.
working harder than ever.
Yeah.
I know you are.
I'm working more now than I've worked my entire, you know, 30 years, 40 years in the industry. I mean, it's just crazy. I did.
Well, so it's a couple of layers of things that you do really well, besides the fact that you got kind of the mystique of the restaurant industry out of the way at an early age. Like you're like, it's about good food, it's about blah, blah, blah. And it's about, there's a lot of aspects to cooking good food for people and having it all the things it has to be. And, look good, smell good, be safe, be yummy, fill you up, feel like you've got some nutrition behind you. Like, and lasagna does have nutrition in it because there is so much good tomato in there. That's such a good thing, and the protein and the cheese. But, and then you did this whole other life where you became a really great marketer. And that's why, I mean, that's the most invaluable thing. I would say, even in my world, like I'm a writer first, because you've got to be able to have those basic skills
Right.
to be able to create your business. Like you have to be everything nowadays. You have to be the photographer, you have to
Yes.
be the go-to person, you have to be everything. But you got those good two really great things. Those things your dad would be proud of, that you really have great skills. Like seriously, your marketing is amazing.
Thank you. I like to think that I was born a marketer.
Yeah.
I was telling, jokes at my grandparents' restaurant to people at their tables. Tell them they were my big mouth frog jokes, and they're trying to eat their prime rib and crab and stuff. And I'm like, you want to hear a big mouth frog joke? And they're like, no way, little girl. I mean, I just never, I was like, of course they want to hear my joke. What the hell, right?
You're going table to table and doing a little side hustle there on just keeping everybody
I'm not
happy. I
bringing
mean,
you some,
you must have been
butter or anything like that.
adorable.
Huh?
Adorable. You're adorable.
My God, I'm so funny the way, and anybody who has been in the restaurant business can tell you it is a mess. I mean, you have to be crazy, like crazy as a fox, to want to be in this industry. But once it gets a hold of you, you fall in love with it, and you can't do anything else your whole life. I mean, I can't do anything else. I'm not going back to marketing. um I spent 10 years in digital media marketing, but I've been marketing products my whole life. I mean, I sold shoes when I was 16. I was the top producer in my region when I was 16 for Nine West. Um, I, I I was an insurance person. I got to territory. My territory was the biggest one. Everybody loved me. So, I mean, I've always just had that hustle, I guess is the right word, or the grit to just, okay, here, this is 100, but I can make it 200, I can make 300 or whatever. So I've always just had that type of mentality.
The
Yeah.
entrepreneurial spirit.
I know, but I didn't know I was an entrepreneur. I didn't know because I was always like, everybody was like, you have to have a job. You have to, have a job. You have to have a boss. You have to, have insurance, all the things that we think about, in our daily lives. And, like I said, I'm fortunate to have a very stable husband because I can go real quick. So,
We're the same. We have the same husband. And
yes.
it does matter. Like, there's a whole side of our lives that people don't know about that is really because our husbands are there to back us up, and that really makes it all possible. I
Yeah.
get you. I remember you telling me about your husband the first night I met you. Like, I get it. Like, it's a partnership.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And my husband, if I said, "Oh, we're going to do this entrepreneurial thing," he would just cry. He'd be like, "No, no, no more. Please just stop." Like, we could have had money if you hadn't started on this jewelry journey.
Mr. D doesn't cry. At least I don't know that he does. Maybe he does in the like bathroom when I'm asleep.
But it is kind of true. Like, it's like, geez. Like,
Yeah, right.
seriously. I mean,
Yeah.
because there's so
Yeah.
many, I think
Yeah.
it's very hard to have a business when there's so much demands on you. I mean, now apps are now costing money. That's a new thing that just kind of is coming up. Like, you have to be able to like do all of these things, and your thank you notes and your, all the little special touches that you put in within
Mhm.
your product all cost money. Like, that's something that a lot of people don't realize.
Yes.
But like, it's not just the lasagna. You've got your storage, you've got your overhead, you've got your
Your
insurance, you've got
kitchen, you have
all
product,
of the,
you
all of
have
the peripheral
magnets.
things. Like,
Yes, all
it's
of them.
hard to
All
have a
of them.
business and
Yeah.
bootstrap it, number one. Like, I hope your friends buy a lot of lasagna from you. Do they? Because if I was there, I would be. I'd be like,
I'm very lucky. I've had, the weird part about my business is that I started it before COVID, and and I was doing okay. And I look back at my journals because I journal stuff, so I can remember when I'm old and can't remember
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
But I remember my goal was to do 30 lasagnas a month. That was my goal when I first started Send a Friend Lasagna. And now I do anywhere between 125 and 150 lasagnas a month. I mean, consistently. December is crazy, right? Because I do, employee like gifts instead of like
Right.
giving them a ham, they give them
Right.
a lasagna. I
That's
mean,
beautiful.
yeah. And so it morphed in when COVID hit, it morphed into something so different from what I thought in my head it was going to be. But I'm just like, me, I'm going to roll with the punches, right? I'm just going to keep going, and nobody's going to tell me to stop because this is mine and I'm going, right?
So how
So
did COVID affect you? Plus, plus, plus? Was it all good? Because I would have been ordering.
it was awesome. I mean,
Huh.
I had just started, like I said, in November, and then COVID hit, and like we heard like sprinklings of it in February.
Yeah.
And then in March, when the lockdowns happened, um, I heard, people talking about essential workers. And I thought, well, I'm an essential worker, right? Because I'm delivering food to people,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So, so I, I just, and I was in a big social media community just through other outlets or whatever. And I said, hey, if you don't want to leave your house, I'm making fresh lasagna. I'll deliver it to your door. And they were like, what?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, fresh lasagna, zero contact delivery. I'm in there with the PPE, the mask, the gloves, the whole thing. But yeah, we delivered, I mean, I don't even know how many lasagnas we delivered, but that kind of launched what a lot of restaurants have struggled with. It kind of launched my career, really.
I
Yeah.
mean, it was the deal breaker for almost every company I know but you. I mean, that was meant to be. Like, think about that. Like
I
everybody
know.
else was staying home, like scared on the couch, and you're like, I got 30 orders today. Let's go.
Yeah.
Forget
It was
about COVID,
also
worrying about it. You had
but it was
things to do.
also problematic. It was problematic. There was some finesse that seriously went into it. I mean, I had team lasagna, right? So, I mean, think about like ground beef. So I make my meat and cheese lasagna. If I have 30 orders, which I mean, I had 30 orders every day, right? And I couldn't find ground beef. So I was like, because we were limited in what we could purchase, right? We could only buy three of so many things. So we could only buy three ground beef packages. We could only buy three toilet paper things. I mean, it was insanity. But I remember because I use a local business to get my ground beef, and I knew they got deliveries on Monday. And I would call them and I'd be like, when's the truck pulling up? You need to let me know. And they were like, okay, it's going to be here by 9, but we can only save you 3. And I'm like, okay, just get them hold for me. And then I would tell my husband, my
Oh,
mother,
everybody had to go get in line.
sister, I had everybody going out getting me ground beef, right? I mean, it was like black market stuff, right? It was crazy. I
Stephanie
mean,
was thinking about butchering her cow in her backyard. Like, I'm gonna give me some meat.
it was wild. It was a wild time. I mean, it was crazy. But yeah, I mean, I remember, um,
Now the journals from that time would be really fun to go back and
oh,
those
I've
you
got
have
them.
preserved.
I've got them. Oh
Like,
my,
wow.
oh, inside my brain. But yeah, I had, my goal was 30 lasagnas a month, and then it would just like increased by so much. And I remember, and I don't know what Texas was like, but Indiana was, I mean, it was like a ghost town because we were on lockdown.
Yeah.
And so people that normally would be downtown weren't there. And I remember it's actually, I think it's pretty close. June 15th, I believe, is the day that this happened. But
This time
um,
4 years ago. Right.
yeah.
4 years ago,
So
yeah.
I delivered to a lady that was actually downtown, and she was my 500th lasagna delivery. And I thought, I can't believe I've done 500 lasagnas. I just wanted to do 30 a month. I cannot believe I've done 500 lasagnas since November. It's a brand new business. And then I thought, I'm going to do 1,000 lasagnas by the end of the year. And I did it. And I was like, that was such a big deal to me. And it just blew my mind. And I I did like 126 lasagnas through the week of Christmas. I mean, it was just incredible. And and people love my lasagna. I mean, it's
And
just
they're
like
all fresh. Like you make them fresh, like
make it
every
fresh.
day, like
Yep.
however many days. There's probably like a cutoff time the day
Yes.
before. Like you got to
Yep.
get your order in by
Yep.
whatever.
Yep.
And then you know how many you got to make, and then
Hmm.
how the deliveries are all, and they're all layered,
Hmm.
cooked, but
Hmm.
then they finish it off in the oven to melt the cheese and get it all hot again, but
Yep.
not frozen. You're not
No.
delivering frozen ones. Ah,
Mm-mm.
such a big job. Like,
And there's
do you ever go like, oh my God, I have to cook lasagna today? Like, oh my God, I gotta cook lasagna. Because making a sauce from scratch is
It is all
The
from
time.
scratch, all of it. I don't make lasagna noodles because that's just a waste of
Yeah,
time
yeah,
in my
no, 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 no,
opinion.
of course not.
But
But you
I
have to
make
cook
all my
them. Like
sauces. All my
you cook
sauces are, huh?
you cook the noodles to put them in the pan.
Yeah, I cook them. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
work.
al dente. But I mean, all of my sauces are from scratch. Yeah, everything is from scratch. Because if it weren't, my grandmother would come down and like knock me over the head and say,
Yeah, I mean, you're not
what
using
the hell
really
are you
a
doing?
jar of ragu. You've got like the real deal tomatoes happening there.
I do.
My husband is a really good cook because he has years in the industry, and he has this favorite white hockey shirt that he wears on rotation. It's not getting a little gray because it's been years he's been wearing it, but he makes his spaghetti sauce wearing that shirt and never gets one drop on him. I'm like covered just opening the
Oh,
can
I
of
would just,
tomatoes.
yeah, yeah, I would be covered. Like I'm afraid something's going to jump on me in this gray shirt right now. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, I got some wet spots where I had to like do a little clean.
Yeah,
Maybe that won't show if I just wash it out.
yeah, yeah. But
Oh
yeah,
my God. Can you believe that you've done all this and you've gotten tons of great press? Like I know that you're like in the media there and everybody knows you because it's such a unique business. I'm really kind of surprised that other people haven't hit you up to do a franchise because it is a very franchisable concept. They just need a really good recipe and then I think you have all the love behind it that you kind of understand how things go. So have you thought about doing a franchise? Because people might be listening going, hey, forget about jewelry. Let's do lasagna. That sounds more fun.
yeah, I have. I really have. The problem is that I'm such a stickler for quality
Yeah.
that if they don't do it
I
right,
know they could ruin your business, but they would want to have good quality so it helps their business too.
yeah, I would have to like pick certain, not everybody can franchise send
No, I think they'd have to have some industry experience, number one. They'd have to have
I
somebody.
didn't have, I mean, but I mean, who am I to say that? Because I didn't have any industry experience.
Only from
I'm
when you were
telling big
8.
mouth frog jokes at my grandparents' restaurant.
Like, seriously? Okay, well, it was meant to be. That's what it was. It was meant to be that you had this idea. It was a great idea. And now you're on fire. And now
Well,
you're going to be on Amazon Prime
God,
with the blocks.
I know.
So, let's just talk about the blocks a little bit because we're halfway through our hour and we haven't really discussed it. But
It's gone so quickly.
it's so, I know. Oh, it's because I love talking to you. I'm so happy to be on this with you. So at some point, it's going to be on Amazon Prime. Have you connected? Now, we have lots of friends from that. That was like the point, I think, of us going there is that we made like all of these connections. Like you and I will always be connected. And we have lots of people, we all know those names, and that are like part of us now because it was why we went there, right? Like we went there to connect with other people that are also entrepreneurs. So it really gave us that to take home.
Mhm.
Like I do have a Google alert for all things blocks and West Bergman, but have you been do you have anybody from the blocks that was in your area? And also tell us about your Mother's Day thing because that was very clever.
Oh, I mean, so nobody, there's a couple people from the blocks that are in my area, and they reached out to me, when I posted in our group or whatever.
Yeah.
One of them was coming from, I can't remember, during the solar eclipse, but it didn't work out. And then the other one, I haven't had an opportunity to meet, but I mean, I'm friends with everybody online, just like you.
Yeah.
Give our updates, and you guys are my people. I mean, you and the salsa lady, and I mean, just there's just too many to say. I mean, it's just like if I say all of them,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
they'll be
Yeah.
like,
We can't
Mitch
mention
forgot
names.
my name.
Yeah, yeah. Somebody will be mad. We
Yeah.
forgot somebody, but it was big. Oh, you know what? Here's the salsa lady. She was in one of my groups and she goes, oh, I wear my minerals in my bra. I'm like, "Minerals
That doesn't surprise.
okay, but the bra lady from the Busted Bras, she
Yes.
contacted me and she's like, "Oh, do you want like a free bra?" I'm like, "No, no, no, I don't want a free bra. I want to create something that you can buy from me, and then that would be a better thing for my business, and then I can talk about your business and all that." So you know what I made? Bra charms. They're acoustic, which means that it spells out a word. So they're minerals, and each mineral has a, like appetite A, B for barrel, blah blah blah, and so it's a little bra charm, and then I have like 8 different words that it's like smile and happy and hope and blah blah blah, kind of words that you would want close to your body. And so I made these bra charms for the busted bra lady because of the salsa lady.
I love that.
Isn't that
That's
great?
so,
I'm
that's
finishing
so
up. I'm
true.
finishing them up today.
Awesome.
So they'll be like 19.99 at the cash register, and they're in these glass tubes, so
Mhm.
you can see what's in there, and everyone is different. And I'm just doing the paper part of it, the insert that goes in there that the trom actually will hang on. So
Oh,
it is just about like making those little connections, like and listening and paying attention and all that. What did you come away from the blocks learning, or what did you get out of that experience?
um, so my big thing when I started was that is going to be a local business. And I want it to be a local business, but the I was against shipping, completely 100% against it. And so many people at the blocks were like, "Oh my God, I want to taste your lasagna. Oh my God, I want to have your lasagna. When can you ship? When can you ship?" And I'm like, if you want to grow, and you know this, you have to try. You have to do the hard part, what really scares you, right? And that scares me for obvious reasons. When I deliver, or when my driver delivers in Indianapolis, I know what it looks like. I know what it tastes like. I know the condition that it's in. I know, everything about it. But sending it out into the world, um, it
Yeah.
could be 89 degrees when it gets there, right? So, I mean,
Yeah.
it just, um, and I put my entire heart and soul into these lasagnas. I mean, I can't even tell you, like, I mean,
I know you do. I know you do,
I
Dan. I know
do,
you do. Like
I
seriously, I
do.
understand. Have
But
Is there anybody in your area that does gold belly? Because you just have to go see how they do it, and then you could go, "Oh, I get it. Freeze it solid, have the ice packs, have the, the
yeah,
dry ice, the whatever,
yeah,
and see how they do it." Because it's a process. I order from Gold Belly often, especially during the pandemic. Oh my God, it was such a treat. We got so many great things. But
yeah.
and it always was good. It always would work.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to, commit myself to some more research to it. And
Have you ordered anything from Gold Belly to be sent to you? Because that would be another thing.
yeah, I should do that. Um, you know, I'm such a type A personality. So when I do something and it doesn't work, I, take it out on myself. So
It's gonna work. Everybody else can do it. You can do it. It's just a matter of
yeah,
some getting that right little
just
packaging
has
part
to be
in.
in the right, and so I'm kind of in the thick of it right now. It's going to happen. It's just, um, maybe I need just some better angels. You know what I mean? Maybe the people that I had asked, not, I, I don't know what I'm saying, but yeah, I mean, it'll work out. I want people to have my lasagna. I want my people to have lasagna everywhere. I have to refund orders once a week, at least once a week, from somebody outside of Indianapolis who has ordered my lasagna. And do you know how painful that is? I'm so sorry, as a small business, how painful it is to refund
Yeah.
because
So
you can't
yeah,
provide the product for them.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can't even imagine what you must be going through for that. Like I get it. Like but it's possible. So,
I know it's possible.
and the other
Millions
thing
of
is
people do it.
also restaurants or, like restaurants could be carrying your lasagna as a takeaway, or those kind of restaurants that are kind of takeaway, and also um, grocery stores. Like, why couldn't they have like you could have it
Yes,
frozen?
I'm working
And
the.
it's a
I'm.
whole other thing, I guess. I
No,
don't know
I'm just.
anything about
It
it.
is a whole other thing, but um, Andrea gave me a really great insight into Kroger's opportunity program.
Oh,
Um, there's a lot of red tape, with any kind of like
unbelievable.
business, just so much red
Yeah.
tape. There is a local place that I'm starting to work with, but all these things were happening at one time. And it
Right.
was like, I need to get one of these things going,
Right.
and then I can focus on the other ones because being older, I know I can't do everything by myself, right? I can't manage this thing and this thing over here. Um, I love making lasagnas and I love having them delivered to people. And I love getting text messages from people saying, this is the best lasagna I've ever had in my life. That part of me will never go away. And I will always do delivery, local delivery, just like I am now. But I understand if I want to grow, it's going to have to go out beyond me. And before I was on the blocks, I was not okay with that. I was not, I was like, no, it's not going to happen. But um, also, what I learned from the blocks is that I love my business so much that I am not willing to sell it. A lot of people want to sell their businesses and retire and all that stuff. But I have a son, I have a niece. I want them to have the opportunity, the same kind of opportunity, a latchkey kind of turnkey thing, where is if they want to own a business, they can do that. And I want to be able to, I mean, I'm not going to serve it up on a silver platter. I mean, I've never had anything served up to me on a silver platter to work my ass off for it. But if that's what they want, then there'll be steps that they have to do. But I want to grow. I do so badly, especially after the blocks. I want to grow because so many people ask me about, shipping and, everything. So yeah.
So tell me about how the Mother's Day flour combo lasagna worked. Did that work out well? Will you
Oh my
be?
God. Yeah. So that was, I'm always marketing, right? Always be
Yeah.
marketing in my head. So when Mother's Day came around during the pandemic, I thought, well, people can't be together. They can't go and see their moms. It'll probably be the first Mother's Day and they haven't seen their mom and who knows how long, right? And you still want that connection. You still want them to feel the love that you have for them. So I partnered with a local florist and I said, we'll do a lasagna flower combo and we'll just put it together. And I went on TV and I, promoted it. And that was, 2020 was the first Mother's Day, and we've done it every year since. I've always worked with a local florist. I've always done, my lasagnas, whatever. And it brings so much joy to people, especially during the pandemic. People were thrilled. I mean, they were so overwhelmed because, you can write notes in my with my cards and stuff. And so they could personalize it and, send it to their mom. And that, you know, lasagna is like a hug, right? It's like
Mm.
comfort food. It's like a hug from someone you don't,
Mhm.
maybe they're not in your presence, but you know that they love you. And I was just so fortunate to be able to come up with that idea and be able to give that to those people during that time. And I still do it, you know.
So that works. So they're going to deliver flowers and then
No, I deliver. So everything comes through me.
Oh, so they pick you pick up the flowers and then take the lasagnas and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, because I know the florists are crazy on Mother's Day. Like
Yes.
that's kind of like that's their big, besides Valentine's Day. Those are the days that they, can't. I guess you could do it on Valentine's Day too, right?
I have a Valentine's Day special that I started in 2020 with Circle City Sweets. And we do the first year we did fresh heart-shaped macaroons. They were beautiful and delicious. And we delivered those with the lasagnas. Um, Last year, so we started doing these cakes. So they're like these, I don't know what size. I'm not a baker. I can't bake anything. I can make anything you want to eat, but I cannot bake anything. But they're like these 6 inch or 8 inch, heart shaped cakes, and you can get them in chocolate, vanilla, or red velvet. They get to pick which one they want. And Cindy from Circle City Sweets, I've worked with her since before, from the very beginning, and they pick them and I pick them up and they get delivered on Valentine's Day. So yeah, it's worked out
Wow.
wonderful. Yeah.
Like that, and that is, see, that these are connections that a lot of people don't think of. Like, oh, go, like as a jewelry maker, I should be connecting on Valentine's with some other companies that are
Yeah.
already delivering and going, here's this one earring, and we're gonna sell it to everybody, and it's gonna be great.
Special. It's a special limited
Yeah.
edition Valentine's Day
Yes.
edition, right? Yes.
Yeah. Limited edition Valentine's jewelry.
Yes. And you can do one every year. You
Yeah,
could do
collectibles.
you could do a limited edition Valentine's earring every year. So they could have their collection.
I love it. I wish we lived closer. Like seriously.
Yeah.
And you know what it is? Because it's hard being in a silo and that we don't
It
have
would be great, but we would never get anything done. We just didn't talk about ideas all
we're
day.
talking about food. I'm so glad this is happening before my lunch so I can like go, "Hmm, what do I have? That's yummy because it's been a yummy conversation. That's been banger. I made a coconut cake for my birthday. My husband doesn't like coconut cake.
Oh,
I'm like, that's why I make it. It's just for me, not for you.
yeah.
I'd be sharing my coconut cake with you, and you'd be sharing
Yeah.
lasagna.
Uh, yes.
And I told you when I met you, it's like, oh, I wish I had macaroni and cheese delivered. And you said to me, oh, anybody can make macaroni and cheese, girl. Like, really? I don't care. I don't know what it is. Like, don't, we're not talking about box of macaroni and cheese that we can handle.
Yeah.
And I'm a good cook, but there's a couple things I can't cook and I want to. Rice pudding. Never been able to make it. It just ends up like a big blob.
Hmm.
I don't know what that's about. I want that creamy thing. Can't get it. Macaroni and cheese is like all gets sucked into the noodles, and there's like that looks horrible. So
Right.
yeah, not everybody can. Like I'm a good cook. Give me something to cook. Not those two things. Can't do it. I don't know
Yeah.
why. So you can expand out too. Like that's another thing. But what's so also so great about your company is the name because it's so memorable. It's like, what is that? What am I going to do? Oh yeah, I'm going to send my friend lasagna. Like
Yeah.
that was
It's so funny.
genius.
It's so funny because I've had several people ask me, because this whole thing started because a friend of mine's wife died. She died very early. She was very young. Um, and I was like the lasagna person in the family, right? So if somebody died, my mom would call and say, "You need to make so and so a lasagna," and I would take it and just, whatever. So I made him a lasagna that day, the day of her celebration of life. She died of cancer, colorectal cancer, 33. I mean, just horrible. They had a little man, a little guy, and he was devastated. He was just devastated. And it
Yes.
was a horrible loss. And I remember telling him I didn't know what to do. So I brought you a lasagna, and I still get so emotional talking about it.
Mhm.
Um, and I came home, and my cousin came over, and she's very crass. You would love her. And I said something about sending a friend lasagna. And I said, I had to make a lasagna, send him a lasagna. And she said, that sounds like a business. And I was like, no. And she goes, yeah, maybe. So I started, thinking about it. And then I just became obsessed with it, right? I just obsessed. How can I do this? How can I do this? What could I do? I'd have to have a meat lasagna. I'd have to have a plain lasagna for picky eaters. I'd have to have a vegetarian lasagna for vegetarians. Oh, there's gluten-free people. I'd have to have a gluten-free people. What was that one dish that I had that one time at that restaurant? Oh, it was a gorgonzola lasagna, or it wasn't a gorgonzola lasagna. It was gorgonzola dish, gorgonzola cream sauce that I had that I absolutely loved. So it just all came like flooding, flooding, flooding. And then that one day, I told Mr. D, my husband, I said, I'm just going to do this. If I don't do it, I'm going to regret it for the rest of my life.
You
And then
invested in yourself because you did know it was a really good idea. Do you market to funeral homes? Because that would be smart to have your little card there.
they have their, so funeral homes here in Indianapolis are weird because they're like big, like franchises.
Yeah,
Um,
corporate owned.
yeah, there is one funeral home that probably, I should, sounds horrible, but I could have a punch card, right? It's like the next one is free kind of thing. Um, but I just haven't gone that way. Um,
But I like that spin on it because people just don't cook in batch cooking like this anymore.
People
So
don't cook, period. And
no, I totally agree. I take all of our extra leftovers to next door because my next door neighbor is not picky about what he eats and his wife doesn't like to cook. So he's happy for anything except for my coconut cake I might not share with him. But besides that, like he's happy to have anything that's home cooked because people just don't cook.
I cook every night. When
I
I come
do.
home from lasagna, right?
Yeah, I
And I
know.
cook it.
You come over with lasagna, I'm like, no problem. I'm gonna cook this. I get
Not
it. I mean, we don't eat out, so it's a huge treat when we do. And
but
but we cook.
the
One of
thing
us
is I don't know if this is true for you, but when I do go out, I'm disappointed. I would say
every time.
70,
Every time.
I would say 75% of the time I'm
Yep.
disappointed.
Yeah, I don't
And
care.
it's like,
Yeah, I know. I know. I know. Or like this one little hamburger place that we sometimes go to at our ranch. It's like, oh, it was really good, and then now it's not. Oh, wah,
mhm.
wah. So can't go back there anymore because they certainly can't cook anything. So just get a bad night or something. But yeah, so people don't cook these meals to take to people anymore. Like I guess they just go pick up a pot of sandwiches from the grocery store. But
'Remember when my dad passed away 15 years ago, and we had all these flowers. I mean, my
yeah,
parents have a deck that goes the full length of the house, right? And there were all these flower arrangements, all of them. And I'm like, what the hell are we going to do with all these flowers? But the food that they brought us it helped so much.
yeah.
And that's what I want to do. And people are like, oh, I have to have this lasagna this day because, they died on this day, the funeral's on this day, and then they need it this day. Okay, but the loss doesn't stop there, right?
Exactly. The next week and the next week.
Mhm. Yeah. So I'm, it just, it heals my heart being able to do that for people. And I don't know if I ever told you this when I was at the blocks, but there's a women's shelter here in Indianapolis that I work with. It's called the Coburn Place. It's a domestic violence shelter for women and children, and they have on-site housing, so they do apartments and stuff like that. So I bring the new residents a lasagna. Every new resident gets one of my lasagnas in their refrigerator when they get there so they don't have to worry about cooking for one night. Did I did I stun you?
Speechless.
Huh?
Yes. Yes. I'm kind of speechless because that is something that you're taking on that is gigantic. I am a victim of that. I lost an eye because of domestic. And when I was that time, they didn't have any room for me in the shelter. They were all booked. So I didn't even get a room. And now you're giving them a lasagna and a room. Like, oh, times have changed. Times are better.
Yeah. I
That's
slept
why I'm like, wow, what? Like, me,
I
I
slept
how
I
can I
slept
get in on
on
that deal? That's a great thing to have be so helpful. Like, seriously, like crazy good.
close to my heart. I was lucky enough to be able to have a couch to sleep on, but some people are not that lucky. So
Yeah.
um, it feeds
Yeah.
my heart to be able to give back. I always feel better when I give back. I always feel better when I give back.
That is how we cure our blues, is that we help other people, and that in turn changes everything. Like I am all about being altruistic and helping other people. It
Mhm.
is what we're here for, like
Yeah.
in a story.
Yeah.
But seriously, your woman's shelter is very lucky to have you. And I don't know how many that equates to, but you certainly are a godsend to those women that are, you're so generous to do that. Like,
I
uh,
don't think of it. I just think it's just my service.
are they close to you?
Huh?
Are they close to you? Is it
Oh,
somewhere close?
like downtown. Yeah. So
Uh,
I'll just like, you know, I have my contact there. I'll say, how many lasagnas do you need this month? And she'll say 10, and I'll just bring in 10.
wow. You are so like seriously. You need to have that written up somewhere too, because that's a real. So I saw on a TV show that you were doing, there was a bunch of women sitting there with you. That's not them, right? That's not them. No, that wouldn't be
No.
them. Who was all on the stage with you when you were doing a TV show? Was that just you and the I was looking for the pink hair. I'm like, I know she's got to be in that picture. Which one is she? No, I couldn't see. I don't know. When you did a TV show about, I bet it was for Mother's Day. I was on no?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That might have been one of my first. I had short brown hair then. So, yeah.
So when did the pink come in? Because the pink is so happy and so visual.
The pink came in during COVID because I couldn't see my hairdresser. So I discovered a company that has this leave-in conditioner color, and I started purple, but then I went pink. I'm a unicorn. I just always wanted pink hair. And so here it is.
I love it though. But doesn't it make you feel good when you look at yourself and it's like, yeah, I got the jam happening on my head.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I love it. My stylist is amazing. So yeah.
Is pink your favorite color?
No, purple's my favorite color.
Oh, wow. Well, purple's the color that changed the world. Did you know that?
I
Oh,
did not.
yeah. If we had some wine, I'd sit there and tell you the whole story. But it's actually a title of a book. And I used to have all these jewelry parties, right? And
Mhm.
everybody would go, like I'd talk to everybody, and they'd go around the room and I'd say, "Oh, what's your favorite color?" And then, I would tell them something about their color. But the purple, there was always somebody purple, and that really was the chance where I got to really like explain to people about color and color therapy and just history of color and everything. It's my like talisman. And people that love purple are very passionate about their purple. So now that I know that, I'll have to make you something purple so that you have something purple of mine. Because I know that people are they'll run to get anything aqua, but they'll climb over you to get something purple.
Definitely.
Right?
Yeah. I'm really into moonstones right now too.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh. Okay, so how'd that start? That's just your color of choice right now. It's kind of moony.
No, moonstone is just it's something that goes back way back to my childhood. My Aunt Jean would um do tarot cards, and
Oh,
she would like do a tarot card reading for us, and it just kind of always she was very like she was kind of a hippie, so she was into that kind of stuff, and I just led into it, like the moonstone and I think labradorite. Am I saying that
Laboratory.
right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I love those. I'm kind of into the watermelon tourmaline too, but
Okay, the two colors.
expensive. So I don't know. Anyway, yeah,
Well, you don't even know how much I got about all that around here.
I can't even like imagine. I would just like walk around in your place and be like, what? Oh my God. So
Oh my God. Oh, here's a purple necklace. I'll show you right here. This is cool. This is a giant, well, there's actually two sitting here. This is a giant, it's actually really big. I don't know if you so you can see how big it is.
wow,
So it's
that is huge.
it's a giant a CZ. So
Yeah.
it's a colorized gem, and even on the back, it's really pretty.
Oh wow,
You
that's
can
really
see
cool.
through it. And then it has these are really old glass purple. From back here, it's like so pretty. I wish you could see it from the with the color, the light shining through because it's just like so purple, like
Yeah.
crazy purple. Here's
Mhm.
another one that has purple pearls, so it's kind of fun.
Mm.
The pearls coming on. So it's a shark's tooth.
Oh, that's yeah. You did one of those for Tyler, right?
Yeah, Tyler got one with like gold and skull. Yeah, for a movie. So that's cool.
Yeah, I know that's crazy. Good for you.
I mean, it's just like I'm so great. It was great working with him. Like,
Yeah,
it's whatever.
yeah.
So it was all good memories. Like whatever, it's all good memories. So what are you doing the rest of the day? By the way, what's the rest of your day look like?
Um, Nothing. I'm gonna cook dinner and I'm gonna relax. I'm going to take a mental health day tomorrow
And zone out.
and kind of decompress. Like later, I've got a bunch of emails that I need to send out about certain thing that kind of went haywire, didn't go the way I wanted it to.
Things happen.
you know so I got to follow up with that stuff, but tomorrow I'm just I have to take a mental health day every once in a while because it is a lot, right?
Yes, a
Owning
lot
a
to
business,
juggle.
it's a lot. It's
And
just a
you
lot.
have to do what your body tells you to do too. And if I get like some inkling of like, okay, really, you're done for the day. Just it's okay. You're done for the day. Don't press it. It's like, okay, that's what
Yeah,
I'm gonna just,
I learned that the hard way.
turn off social media for a while. Turn off because it is, I think social media is is like the good and the bad and the ugly. It definitely is a time suck. Like I just saw I've created 350 reels. Well, I think of the amount of time in my life I used to create that, the energy that it took to create those reels. Blah. It's a lot, right? Like, and does anybody even see them when the algorithm switches and they switch up the algorithm? You get nothing. You get like ghosts. It's like, you do everything. You do everything. You put in the the tag words, the hashtags, you put in all that stuff, and it's still, unless you pay Meta, they can chomp that down where you then it's not even seen. But they'll send you a little notice like, "Oh, you're doing really good on your." Oh, it's like really like
Thanks, Zach.
let my
Appreciate
friends
it.
see my stuff. Like open up the doors. Like that algorithm is real, right? Well, girl,
I,
I
I
get it.
remember, huh?
I get it.
Yeah, I remember working for one of the agencies I worked for, and I was a social media manager. So I would manage multiple accounts and do their content and all that stuff. And I would be like, why do they not want to do their own social media? I don't understand why they're paying us to do this. Now I understand. Now,
Oh my gosh, yes. And yeah, because you're trying to juggle everything and then all of a sudden, oh
everything.
wait, I should be recording this so I can do a post.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
you were really good about, and I learned this from you, is that you had things that were posted by time, like you like put it down. It's like do this because I'm like, how are you posting all this and you're not even there? It's like, no, I just have it all scheduled.
I have it scheduled. Yeah, because I
See,
can't.
that's something that people should learn how to do more so that it does show up on a consistent basis. So, okay, let's just talk us through how to do that one time, and then we'll finish up our hour. But this is a really good thing. If you've been listening for this whole hour and you got to hear, let's learn one good thing from Stephanie because she is brilliant on this. And being able to schedule so you don't have you can take a mental health day and things are still happening. Like you could pre-schedule for the whole month if you wanted.
You pre-schedule a whole week. I'm going to Mexico next month. All going to be scheduled. Yeah.
Yeah, because then nobody knows if you're home or not, which I think is so important. Like seriously.
Yeah. Okay, so if you have a Meta business account,
Yeah.
go to the business suite, and you want to make sure that your Facebook and your Instagram are connected.
Yeah.
And then you think of your content or whatever. So you can make a post with a picture and say, and Meta actually has active times. So if you click on that active time, it will show when the people that follow your account are most active. Mine are mostly active, and it could be different for everybody, but mine are mostly active in the evening, which makes sense because they're working families and they're not scrolling until after the kids go to bed, right? So you can just schedule and you can say, I want this post on June 20th at 9:20 p.m. and it will automatically go to Facebook and to Instagram if you want. So yeah, that's what I do.
Okay, that is something that I'm going to try out, and I will
Try
let
it.
you know how it goes.
And if you need
Because
help, just
yeah,
call
well,
me because
I have all the meta, I have all the business, I have all that, and I have seen it before, but then I like jumped out like something
yeah.
new I gotta learn. Oh
No,
my
no,
God.
no. If
Like,
you want, but if you want help, we can walk through it.
okay,
I'll
I'm
help
sure I
you.
can figure it out too. There's got to be a
Well, sure, but I
but
mean,
yeah, but I'd love to reach out to you and say, okay, Stephanie, here we go. Let's do this.
yeah.
But I am proud of you. And okay, so the blocks is going to be coming on. We don't know, but it's going to be on Amazon Prime. And both Stephanie and I will be at some level on there. I don't know
Yeah, I
how
have no
many
idea.
other
Like,
people.
I'm like, I hope they didn't get me like yawning or falling asleep.
No, but there was a lot of us, so I have no idea how that will play out because it was kind of unfair how many people that we were going to be there and then how many people actually showed up. I did send Wes a little gift for his daughter, just hoping maybe that'll help my chances of getting on there. Who knows? But it is what it is. Like it is what it is. It'll be fun. I wish we were all together so that we can all watch it, but definitely after it
Yeah.
first comes on, we'll have to have like a group disruptors meeting so that we can. And so it's been so much fun to see everybody soar since
And
that.
grow and doing so many great things. Yes.
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 That's the gift that we gave each other is that we lifted and pushed everybody.
Mm.
And think about where we're going to be this time next year. You're going to be like the number one seller on a frozen pizzas delivered to Alaska.
Isn't it funny that we were all strangers, but by the end of the first day, it was like we were family.
I know. That it is what I was wanting. It is what I needed. I did need that camaraderie.
Mhm. And I miss you, and I
I
love
know.
you.
I know, and I love you too, and I'm so proud of you, and I'm thinking about you all the time. And I think these should be like a group. I think we should have a group meeting and just like, okay, you call your 5 friends, and I'll call my friend, and let's talk again, and
We
just
just bing, 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 bing,
yeah, and then
all
we'll
each
all
other.
just
Because we were all like, that was the wild part to me. It was like, oh, I've got an idea for you. Oh, I've got an idea for you. Oh, I've got an idea for you.
well,
Ah!
it's like when two brains come together, we make one really good brain,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
I made these earrings for you today. They're new. Yeah, well, I just had to drill some holes in them, but aren't they pretty? I'm
Ooh,
getting together
gorgeous.
my Christmas collection, so that's going to be part of it.
That's
Easy
gorgeous.
thing, easy gold-plated brands. Okay, dear. Well, we've reached our hour. Stephanie from send your friend lasagna.com.
Then
Send
send a
a
friend
friend
lasagna.
lasagna.com.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. Send a friend lasagna. Best lasagna you've ever had if you're in her area, the Indianapolis area. And it's been a huge pleasure having you on my podcast today, reminiscing, learning, talking. It's not jewelry, but we're all in the same game of how do you get your message out to the world? How do you get that following? How do you create a product that's sustainable, that's going to go forward and help your business grow? You got it down in space, girl. You're so good on your social media. Follow her on Instagram. I'll have all the links along the bottom in the description of the podcast. It'll take a day or two, or maybe even on Monday it'll come out. It's going to be some behind the scenes stuff has to happen. And I'll use one of the pictures that I have of you, since I have some good pictures of you. And unless you have one, but thank you for your time. An hour went by too fast. We could have chatted all day, but we'll do it
Yes,
again
we
because it
really
is
could have.
really good. It's good for my soul to reconnect with you as my little soul sister in the
Yeah,
lasagna world. So I think about you, dear. You're my friend.
what about you too?
Okay, well, here we go. Have a great mental health day and enjoy it a lot.